Hello, heroes, and welcome back. Ooh, wrong direction. Welcome back. I wanted to play a healer today. I wanted to, or at least start leveling a healer, and a lot of people have asked about the cultist healer that we started ages and ages and ages ago over on Fulgen server and never really quite finished. I think I just ran off without accepting the quest. So that's kind of where I'm headed back to. Is to redo this and see if there's been any major changes to it. This thing is still listed as S tier for healing. Um, Pretty much every major raid and dungeon I could find, this guy was at the tippy top. It looks like I missed a couple things that I needed to do. Cosmetics. We want to go here. And we want to go here. Because I want to go this, herbalism again, Skinner, and that can go down here. All right. Um, but yeah, I mean this build has been absolute insanity when we played it last time, and so I just figured it would be a good, like, almost like, I don't know, boom. Oh, I didn't get that one. It's okay. Downside to being melee. But after playing the barbarian a little bit over on Diablo 2, uh it felt like this was a definite good thing to try today. Um so it's kind of where we're at with it. We need one more Duskbat. We shall wait for Duskbat to respawn here while we run over here and pick up all of these Duskbat skins that nobody wants. 'Cause money. Well, I was playing Spellcaster Druid last night while waiting to get laundry finished and everything. Um, on Diablo 2 with the mod that we're playing, and let me tell you, man, that I have currently, we're at 4 wolves, and I'm using the new Arctic Blast skill. So what it does is it summons a ring of frost on the ground that sits there for about 2 seconds and does a ton of damage in that 2 seconds, and then it goes away. And I can throw that several times. Um, and then I also got the boulder skill where you throw boulders at people and it's supposed to do knockback. I haven't seen it do knockback, but it does. Like, I have 1 point in it and it does like 30 points of damage per second if they stay in the little uh fire trail that it does. Um Made it to act 2 yesterday, but yeah, it was interesting. The wolves do so much damage now that they also throw tornadoes at people. Pretty dope. All right, so we need the ghouls. We need the stuff that's out over this way, the wolves and more bats. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun playing that druid. I could see why doing like a shifter druid with wolves, depending on what type of shifter druid you're trying to do, would be kind of neat. I like it when every once in a while I just hit like an absolute truck. And then sometimes I smack him and do like 3 points of damage. It's like, what? I mean, if you're gonna spawn right on top of me, buddy. See what I mean? It's like we attack this wolf and we're doing nothing, but then sometimes I come over and I smack something and it just basically insta destroys it, and I'm like, bruh. Or they dodge. Stop dodging. All right, we just need the wolves. I need to get, or I need a way to get more of my Blade of the Empire procs. One more wolf is all I need. I'm gonna finish this starting zone and then we're gonna probably head over to the orc starting zone. I went back to horde just because I know it's the fastest leveling. Look they. We'll get back on the um what you call it. Why is my brain not working? Brain function, please. I know it's early morning. Um Rune Master. Ha, that's what it is. We'll get back to the Rune Master at some point, but I was just really feeling doing a healer and doing some research last night. Everything I could find said this was the best healer. So I swear I've leveled up more than level 3. Oh wells. I don't know if you want to make yourself look like Garrosh Hellscream, because people might try to, I don't know, keep you from ruining the horde. Trust no one. Do I have any skills yet? Here we go. Oh, I don't have the money for it though. We need to sell everything in our pack. Please help me. I need the monies. There we go. Presence of the assumed and not only been giving damage dealt 20% chance to increase your haste. Sure. Eldritch Mending. Meh. Tentacle of Cthulhu. That's fine. Horbolt. That's if I want to go spellcaster. Spellcasting. Spellcasting on this dude, if you build it right, like I've seen spellcasters, man, that can just do amazing damage. And it looks like I forgot to pick up a quest. There we go. Because we want to grab these. Now, as long as no one else is doing these, you can actually collect these real quick. But I saw another person over that way, so then we're just going to backtrack and go this way. because all this will be respawned. There we go. Done with that. Now we need Skeletrons. Now the thing is like the gear I'm wearing for heirlooms is probably not our best bet, but it is the one that I felt would give us the best ability to keep our mana up when we start doing dungeons. But we can always change the gear when we get into dungeons if we discover that we need different stats. Oh, interesting. So they changed how insanity works. Okay. Now spiders. See, like I feel I don't know, man. It feels like we level slower for some reason in other zones that aren't the orc starting zone. Says there's a plant over this way. Couple plants this way. Nice. Anything to get that early herbalism up. Like herbalism is one of the like herbalism and mining um is a little rough. Um because like there's a certain point where yeah, it will stay green and say, "Hey, you could potentially get a skill on this." But you need so much more um material for that. But sometimes you won't be, especially with mining because you have to smelt. Um you won't get high enough to get the next tier. And so it gets really frustrating. Or like with herbalism, where you might have to go to a zone you don't want to go to in order to be able to pick up things that will allow you to get that extra little bit to move your needle. Whereas like skinning, man, like half the time I just run through an area and I can get the increases on skinning. I wonder what challenge they were doing. For a second, I thought that was like a new heirloom, or not heirloom, world forged item until I realized that was somebody's body just sticking out of the wall. And let's see, I can go kaboop and kaboop. And now I'm fully healed. Now here's the crazy thing, is like when we finally get this build up and running to the way we need it, we won't really ever use Eldritch Mending. Like there will be a part where we could, because we can get it for an instant cast, which would make it nice. But this thing uses up so much mana compared to us getting our melee skill and just going in and smacking things and sending black blood out constantly. Because like I remember doing like trying to heal with Eldritch Mending, like, oh my god, and the tank's taking so much damage, and then I'd be out of mana, and we'd still all wipe. You know what I mean? So it was like, ugh. Like, see, skinning's already at 65. Herbalism, we just hit 13. Ah, it's crazy. But I mean, all I'm using it for is money, so that we have plenty for our skills. They finally kept that guy from just moving around in a circle, which is nice. It's really annoying having to try and track him down. Remember, patience. I don't know. I think we got so spoiled on prestiging on Dark Moon that now everything just feels super slow. Even though we're leveling pretty quick compared to people who don't have the abilities we do. All right, boom. I'm gonna take the spell casting off our tree because now we have our Hammer of Twilight, which this thing will do a ton of damage. Sad thing is I won't remember like the rotation people told us to do as a melee healer. Because like someone gave us a straight up deal. Holy cow, Barb! It's definitely a barbarian. Let's see. Now I can go bam, smack you in the face. No, that's not a barbarian. That's a primalist. Homie is going ham. I didn't see what level he was though. The way he's gathering stuff up, I surmise that he's a little higher level than the rest of us. Or primalist is just that busted. I'll go back to the Rune Master. I was really craving a healer today, so. Plus, a lot of people were asking me how I did the healer the first time, so I really felt like coming back to it. Um, but no, I'll be back on the Rune Master. I I don't know. I woke up this morning and I was getting stuff ready for the Rune Master. I was like, you know what? I want to do a cultist. So, well, to be fair, I was like, I want to do a healer, and I was like, we could do Primalist, but then did some quick research and realized that Primalist, yes, can heal. It's more of a support role, though. It does have some wicked good passives for raids. But like, I don't know. It's apparently the Primalist is more difficult to get it as a healer versus a DPS that does healing. It's weird. Like, this is a healer that does DPS. The Primalist is a DPS that can do healing, from what I've seen. Plus, Cultist seems to be your top tier healer right now when we're talking strictly a healer, which is nice. And now we got to go back and smack what's his face. And I think that is going to be all the quests I do over here, and then we're going to go to the Horde side. But yes, I'll be back on the Rune Master. We got homie to 30, which is really, really nice. I need to pop this book because I need to learn higher skinning. And then we shall wait for Mevin. Oh my god. What about your Pyro or Storm? Stormbringer's basically done until like we need to do on the Stormbringer, we need like heroic and mythic dungeons to get better geared, or to do dailies, whichever. And then for the Pyromancer, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm a little upset about the Pyro. Pyromancer is, I don't know, it doesn't feel good anymore. Incineration doesn't have its instant casts. Draconic, you don't get your Draconic form until level 30, and you're pretty much not even good until around level 30. So like I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where I it's hard for me to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go back and do the Pyromancer." I don't know, man. That Pyromancer is rough. Now, the Rune Master, I'm all for the Rune Master. The Rune Master is doing really good because for a class that feels like it's supposed to be all um single target right now, we do decent AoE, and I'm surprised by that. And pop this, and for Death Knell, I'm going to go ahead and just abandon these. I have a feeling we all three hit that thing like at the same time. All right, let's shrink that a little bit more then. There. I just realized looking over that my chat wasn't hidden. I try to keep the chat hidden because, like, there are people that like to say some of the dumbest, most inappropriate things on the planet. So, curious take on character being finished. My understanding would be that till it's max geared and enchanted. Um, yes, I mean that would be finished. But as far as me getting to 60, so that I could make my build guide, which I need to remake anyway because I screwed up the first one. Um, in terms of that, I'm done with it. Um, but yes, I mean it's got a lot of work ahead of it, so we'll see. I'll definitely return to it. I really like the lightning. It's fun. How can you make a guide if you haven't done a majority of 60 content? Because unlike people who are going to be like, here's the maxed out version of everything, my guides are more like, hey, these are where your points are going to go. This is what your rotation is for general combat. Um, and then, like, these are the stats that you're looking for primarily. Mine are guides towards, essentially the new level 60s. Like, what am I doing now that I hit 60? What am I looking for? Um, if people are wanting, top tier, best in slot, enchants, and all that fun stuff, fun fact, there's a lot of guides out there now for specifically that kind of content. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Eventually, I'll go back to the Stormbringer and continue on. I'll need to find a guild that will let me do raids though, or hope to pug a raid. And like that's the other thing too is like when I'm looking to see what people are trying to pug, the the stuff that people are looking for or spamming in chat anyway is for Mythic Plus, for specific dungeons and keys. So, I mean, that's definitely something we could get into with our Stormbringer. Wouldn't take too much to get him a little bit more geared so that we can then get into like Mythic Keys content. Also, as you pointed out, Tiber, the overall stats for Stormbringer, they're kind of middle of the road. Because I went back and I looked at Mythic dungeons, Mythic Plus dungeons, and raids, and it's rare, if at all, to see a Stormbringer as like the top, I don't know, 5 or 6. True. I keep forgetting that Chronomancer does have a heal spec. I think what makes Chronomancers though so annoying in PvP is not the amount of damage a Chronomancer can do, which by the way is insane how much they can do, but the fact that the Chronomancer has that skill that can lock like 5 people down. Yeah, an easier time learning PvP. True. True, true, true. By the way, I know I said it on Discord, but just to say it here, thank you for the that guide for the Necromancer over on Diablo. Um, reading through that guide and seeing the stuff. Now, granted, like all guides, it's gonna be here's what your best in slot Uber stuff is. Um, but like it is really interesting to see how people are putting that together. Um, so like I really appreciate that. It was a really nice guide to read through. So thank you. Yeah. Either way, I mean, I appreciate you sending it to me. It was really nice. And it definitely gives me an idea of like how I would want to build that necro. Um, I don't know how much has changed or if that build is updated with the newest stuff, but yeah, I mean it's definitely an interesting read, and I really enjoyed it. I think you may want to pay attention to is the gear and auras and itemization. Yeah, but the way they changed how to get runes will make getting the higher rune words a little easier. And from what I've seen on, say, like Mr. Llama's stream of the game, or I guess VOD that he did, um, there is a apparently Countess in Hell just drops ungodly high runes very easy now. So once we get to Hell, we'll get all the runes we need just running Countess to make any of our gear. So plus, for a lot of the socketed items, we're gonna have to be in Hell anyway. Saw that 8-player Duriel almost kicked you in. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was like, which boss? The problem is now he's not the only guy down there. So whichever build you take down there, you have to understand that he has a veritable army of undead that will constantly spawn if you don't take out the little things. And he still gets his hard hits. He still gets his cold aura. So it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, he's just built to be, I guess, a DPS check regardless. Also, I found out that the Blood Golem, I thought his aura affected enemies. No, it affects us. Um, and what I mean by that is, like, instead of it costing mana to throw a skill, it's costing us health. Which doesn't sound like a bad idea, but if I start spamming, say, like, Bone Spear, I'm going to end up killing myself just trying to take out enemies. Because it uses the equivalency, or like half or something of that nature, um, to throw Bone Spear versus the mana consumption versus life consumption. So it's crazy. I like how the trolls are doing the same like frost shock animation. Yeah, so you need from what I've seen is we're going to need like life on hit so that when we do hit with bone spear we're getting life back or some form of just natural health regen if I want to run all 3 golems. Otherwise, I can just boost or keep out the iron golem and keep out the clay golem and be just fine. And then worry about mana pots. But it was a lot of fun. I think the class that's the most busted so far from playtesting it is definitely a trap assassin. I mean, they're crazy strong in um, regular Diablo 2. It's why a lot of people for rerolls will, or for seasonal starts, will do a trap assassin because of how fast you can get through content with it. The addition for this one having the ice traps, though, that's just crazy. Crazy. And I just got 2 while playing the druid last night. Got 2 unique assassin katars that increase. One gives me +1 to all skills, and the other one gives me +1 to all traps. And so I'm gonna give those to my assassin, even though they're low level weapons. I mean, the +1 to all skills is great. Yeah, but if I'm using it for the only reason I like it is so that if I'm wanting to go and make sure I'm collecting certain, like if I wanted to go, for example, magic find, or if I'm wanting to farm more runes or something and I'm just trying to speed do it, that's the easiest way to do it because I can just keep running and throw traps as I run. Oh, homeboy doesn't give us a quest anymore? Because that's just the book. Hmm. I will say so far the biggest struggle bus class that I've tried has been probably Paladin. Who's Cody? If you're asking if I'm off, no. I have work today. I've been off the last 2 days. But I know not of this Cody you speak. Nope. Not even close. I mean, it starts with a C, so I guess I could say you were close, but I personally don't get how you can enjoy leveling in Ascension at the moment. It's too slow. I'd rather grind 60 content and gear up and do content what majority of other players do. I've been on the last 2 days. Ham. And I get what you're saying. Um, I don't know. I've always enjoyed just leveling stuff. That Sun Cleric stole me kill. So I stole the pick. I don't know. I've always enjoyed leveling. Ever since I've played regular WoW, I've enjoyed more leveling than doing in-game content. But then again, when I started doing in-game content, I was basically being forced to do specific stuff, and I hated it. Like queue arenas, go farm in high risk, get honor gear, do mythics, do raids, at least some excitement. Meh. Ugh. Mythics are fun. I like mythics. Yeah, we could do some mythics on the Stormbringer tomorrow. Or at least try to get into mythics tomorrow. If I want to grind mobs, I might as well play JRPG. True. We could go play the original Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 10. Or heck, we could do Lies of P because I'm actually doing a playthrough on the Switch right now for Lies of P because that just dropped not too long ago. Final Fantasy 7 is better than the Chinese knockoff. What Chinese knockoff? Yeah, I'm just as confused. I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand what you mean by Chinese knockoff, Ham Ham. By the way, Dragon Quest was an amazing game. Also, Legends of Dragoon, that was a game. Whew. I mean, there that's like trying to say apples are better than oranges, man, cuz like they're not even in the same category, Ham Ham. Like World of Warcraft is not a JRPG like Final Fantasy VII is. I mean, I would make the argument that that would be the same as me saying that My Little Pony isn't the same as Bleach. Like they're not the same category, man. And yes, I will use a My Little Pony reference. I live in a house with 7 children. And the other thing too is like, okay, but I'm not comparing it to Final Fantasy VII. Like that's the point I was making. Is you just said that Final Fantasy VII is better than, even using your terminology, the Chinese knockoff of WoW, which, tomato tomato, but Like, those are two vastly different genres. But you don't need to hit that one again. Yes, I brought up um uh what you call it. I brought up doing Final Fantasy 7. Yes. But trying to compare Final Fantasy 7 to an MMORPG is just not comparable. It's two vastly different gaming systems. I brought up Final Fantasy VII because Tiber said that he would rather play a JRPG if all he wanted to do is grind mobs. I was simply saying if that was the case, we could play Final Fantasy VII, though I would play the original, not the remake. So that was all I was saying. But then to try and compare the two is not even close. So many plants. Let's get that herbalism up. Because free money. I feel like they upped the drop, or not the drop, but the spawn ratio for these plants. Because I remember at one point, like, you couldn't get one of these plants to spawn to save your life, man. Or you'd be like, oh, look, there's a peace bloom, and you run over there and it would disappear because it was technically inside a different instanced version of the game. How nice is this going to be to us today? One for one, maybe? Nope. Because of course not. Of course we can't have it simple. We're gonna have to take out every spider in this cave. Oh, oh, there we go. Really? You could have lived. But no, you decided to smack me. How dare I miss? And then I got disarmed? No good. Alright. Done with that. Da-da, 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 ba-do-do. Anybody playing season 15 of Diablo? Just out of curiosity. For like the actual season 15 what is it? Reign of the Warlock for Diablo 2. Cuz I think we're on what, day 3? It's like day 3 or day 4 of the new season. I thought about joining the season stuff, but compared to the YouTubers that have way more free time because they actually get paid, or I should say the streamers who get paid to play the game, um, like there's no way I was ever gonna come in uh, the top however many list of world firsts for um, hitting 99. I have a feeling that it's gonna probably be Mr. Llama again for whatever class he's running for this season. If he's participating in this season. I know a lot of people got mad at him last season because he ended up getting this really nice staff drop that gave him like plus, I want to say it was like +1 or +5% more XP for kills. And so when he hit like 80, he just started doing bell runs like crazy and ended up getting world first Warlock soft core 99 last season. I forget which Warlock he made. I want to say it was Echoing Strikes. Or no, not Echoing Strikes. It was I forget what the skill was called. It's the one where you send your weapon out and it comes back to you. And I forget what it's called because it can multiply, so you can have up to 5 weapons do it. And if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, which you should do, which I never do because I'm terrible, um, the you can actually manipulate how the blades go. So do do do. All right, malevolence. So malevolence, I believe, takes the place of our Blade of the Empire. I'm going to keep Blade of the Empire on our bar for now, just because. But I believe this right here, um, this is our AoE healing. So, and then we also have Gaze of Cthulhu, which also can do some healing, which, I'm going to be honest, upon an enemy or ally jumping to one additional nearby target. I think I have to target an ally and then use Gaze of Cthulhu for it to target allies. Otherwise, it always does damage. We'll go see if what's your face is over here. Since it looks like everybody's taking out these dang devotees. Big difference with Malevolence is it does have a channel time. Yeah, somebody's already fighting this shit. Okay. that quest is done. And now we just gotta wait for the devotees. How did I get stuck? Boop. I wish I could watch a higher level PvP or raider showcase Voodoo Witch Doctor. I have so many questions about their talents and rotations. Yeah, even if I got up there with the Witch Doctor, I probably wouldn't be able to answer your questions since I don't PvP enough. And I don't know. That's the other thing too, is like all the people I've seen doing this content, like they're already in guilds and their guild is like, hey, this is what we need. Like again, it goes back to like the people I've seen are playing specific classes because of what guild leaders are saying they need, and that kind of just irks me. But like, speak with Master Garden and Sinjin Village. I don't know why there's that. Okay, but because I see them be top ranked and in 2K arenas, but no one streams in that tier. Yeah, I don't know. The people that I've seen streaming it, whether that's over on Twitch or over here on YouTube, the people that I've seen doing content specifically for COA, um, one of them has made 3 characters. He's currently gearing his primalist. I don't know if he's made any changes to the primalist, at least spec wise, because he was trying to be more DPS than heals. I don't really need that. Can't sell it. There we go. So that was one thing I noticed about his build, but it made me want to play the primalist, which was cool. Um, I did message him and be like, "Hey man, if you really are interested," but his schedule is so vastly different than mine. We're never like on at the same time because he's actually overseas. So usually he's doing content when I'm asleep. So makes it very rough. And that's the other thing too is like, man, I've tried to party up or collab with some other people that I've seen streaming it, but a lot of them are overseas, man. And so it makes it very difficult for me to be able to be like, hey, let's collab on this and do something, but makes it rough. And the other thing too is like I would really love and that's like why I'm trying to have one of every class or like spec. So like a tank, a healer, a DPS, and um or like a melee DPS, range DPS, tank healer. Is that way if I can end up collabing with someone, if they are a tank and I'm trying to level a tank, there's no way we can do anything. So what'd you do to get perma banned? It was maybe a bit too abrupt about it, but F it. Their ages were or egos were over the top, anyways. Yeah, we were just having that conversation about streamers at work the other day because we were talking about Ninja. Because everybody at my job knows that this is what I do in my off time. Is I'm at home, I stream. starting to get hot. Hold on one second. But like they all know that I stream, and so we'll talk about it. And somebody brought up Ninja the other day, and don't get me wrong, like dude would probably wipe the floor with me in um uh Fortnite any day of the week. But before he became such a big name, dude was a mediocre player of Fortnite. Like he was not a top tier guy. He just wasn't, you know. And if it wasn't for the fact that his girlfriend or wife or whoever happened to know the publicist to Bruno Mars so that he could play Fortnite with Bruno Mars, nobody would know who the heck Ninja is. I'm not trying to be mean. Ninja, again, could wipe the floor with me in that game any day of the week, hands down. But like, that would be like me playing World of Warcraft with, you know, literally any famous person. Like, people would watch my channel to see who am I playing with that's famous next. You know what I mean? So like, but going on with the ego stuff, like he got to the point where he was having people permabanned from Fortnite because he would lose to them. Now, some of them were definitely stream sniping. I'll give him that. But not every person he had banned was stream sniping. You know what I mean? Like that's where you need to check the ego at the door, bud, because you wouldn't have your deals with different manufacturers on stuff. You wouldn't have the money coming in from Twitch if it wasn't for the people that was watching your content. So if you're going to get all uppity because they did that, but yeah. First of all, I would understand if they were competing at like stupid high level competitions for um for games. Like if I was doing, you know, PvP sessions for World of Warcraft and I'm competing at the absolute highest level of PvP, I could understand being a little annoyed if I'm constantly being taken out by the same person and I can prove definitively that they are stream sniping me. That they're watching my stream to know where I am so that they can take me out every time. Okay, I could see that. But do you understand how difficult that is to really prove? Like if there's not an open mic system, like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the easiest one to find out if somebody is watching your stream while you play in order to take you out because it's open mic. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what irritates the snot out of me, man. And maybe it's because I'm not a big YouTube name right now. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe if I ever get to the point where I'm, in the same category as some of those guys, I'm who knows? Like maybe my mentality will shift. I doubt it. But it's just like I don't get it, man. It's like people that have to cheat to get a world first. You know what I mean? Like if you have to cheat to take the fun out of a game in order to get whatever small achievement you feel like you're gonna get from it. I don't know why I picked up that quest. Abandoned. We can pick that up if we ever get in the dungeon. It's like I was explaining to my nephew Keegan yesterday, when we went to go pick up pizza for dinner, because he was asking me like what my favorite car is. He's like, what's your dream car? Growing up, and it was strictly because of the uh James Bond movie that came out. I don't remember which James Bond movie, but like it was the Aston Martin V12 Vanquish. Loved that car. Would still love to own that car, you know? Um, but like I feel like when you're younger, having the super awesome, stupid expensive car is that thing, especially for boys, obviously. And some girls. I don't want to get anybody's feathers ruffled, but like there's a point in your life where having that super awesome car, or having whatever it is, like you look at it and you go, that's my goal, that's what I want. And then you get older and you just realize, specifically with cars, none of it matters. Like a car gets you from point A to point B. That's it. Point A, point B. And I tried to explain that to my nephew, right? That no matter what, it's it's there to get you from point A to point B. It doesn't matter how fast that car can go from 0 to 60. It doesn't matter what the top end of that car is. The probability, if you're a decent human being following traffic laws, you're never going to reach that max speed. You're never going to be in a situation where you need to accelerate to 60 miles an hour in 2 seconds. It's just not a thing you're going to need. And he was like, well, and I said, well, let me put it to you this way. I was like, do you know who Mr. Beast is? And he was like, I've heard the name. And I'm like, shocking. I was like, but here's the thing. Homie doesn't drive stupid and, high end expensive cars. He doesn't have a bazillion-dollar mansion. He lives incredibly modestly for the amount of money that homie makes. Now, does he have enough money that he can take care of his family and his friends, and he's got the money to go off and do the things that he really wants to do? Absolutely. But he's also a very down to earth person, from what I understand, when it comes to spending money on himself. At least in the interviews and books and stuff I've read that deal with specifically Mr. Beast. But it's crazy, and that's my goal, is if I ever get, and I doubt I ever will, but it is my goal. I doubt any of the streamer guys ever visit your streams, but why I got banned from Arkvane's stream was due to this sentence: a grown man crying about a game they play for free and fun. Keep it up, it's hilarious. And a moderator banned me for it. Dude lost 2 arena matches in a row where his one-shot combo failed because of a buggy mechanic, and started crying and venting with loud voice like a toddler, being a 30-plus-year-old man who's like 6'3". Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is like when it comes to build guides, or like builds that I see people do, and they're like, "Oh, I win every time because I do this one thing." It's like, okay, but if that one, it's like, take cremation for example over on Dark Moon, right? How like stupid broken cremation is. for a 1-minute cooldown skill. That would be like me trying to go into PvP and I get real good with getting cremation up on a target and then running away. And then somebody figuring out how to dispel cremation or keeping me from casting it because they know my rotation or whatever. And then me throwing a hissy fit about it. It's like, no, homie understood the assignment. Like, come on. But yeah, no, I get your point. To ban you for that, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. I've only ever banned 2 people, maybe 3 people. And it wasn't because of something I disagreed with what they were saying. It was because they were being little racist snots. And I'm like, nope, you are not going to cause my channel to get banned for you spouting racial slurs and just being a demonstrous human being in my chat. So that's the only people I've ever banned. Not for something specific they said about me, but just spouting hate. I have no idea where my eyeball beam just ran off to, but all right. The best part is that I wasn't the first time, but you know, his subs and mods literally swallow and repeat his exact phrases and sentences in chat over a little. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any streamer that I watch or any content creator for that matter that I'll watch on a regular basis where like if I feel like they're saying something dumb, you know, I'm not repeating their stuff, you know, like now granted the people I watch are going to be like the losers and dude perfect and who else? How ridiculous. Oh, I love those guys. Um I think what I like about How Ridiculous is it gives me that nostalgia feel of um what you call it? Mythbusters, right? Like the fact that they just smash things, cut things in half, use giant machines to do stuff, and then they slow it down so you can see what's happening, what's going on. It feels now granted, they're not going, oh, here's the myth, here's how we're gonna scientifically test it. No, they're just like, hey, let's smash some crap. But it scratches that same itch of like, what's gonna happen in today's episode? What are they gonna blow up today? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean those are the guys that I typically watch. Dude Perfect, because their content has always been really fun. Plus, they used to live literally within 5 minutes of the house that I was in Texas. I've met Kobe Cotton, which was absolutely phenomenal. Um, now, granted, I met him while I was at work, and him and his wife and little one were just in trying to buy some stuff. So, tried to be professional about it. But like, yeah, I mean, it's I've met some pretty neat people, and I just hope that one day, like, I'm that person for somebody. So edgy about his paladin roleplay at times, like constantly talk about the for the holy light, or everyone who doesn't play paladin type character are fallen into the darkness and other. I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. All of the clackers are dead. We've got all of our mucuses. I just need the Makura eyes. But I think Homeboy over there took them all out. Oh, look. One respawned. Nice. Yeah. That is definitely cringe, though. Like, there are some people that I've seen that will do like role play stuff like that with their chat, but it's usually like hey, this stream we're going to do this, and they'll dress up and they'll do stuff like that, for like charities and whatnot. But like I don't know. I don't know. Oh, by the way, just so everybody that's on stream knows right now, there is a game coming out supposedly on the 1st. I'm going to be talking to my boss today about getting the 1st off so that we can do an all-day stream for that. So at times he's pretty wise, but that weird stuff just because, and then yelling out loud stuff phrases like "my friend." I mean, and then every minute he dab checks. I mean, dabs at 22. Yeah, that's definitely cringe. I don't know anybody in real life that's ever dabbed non-ironically. Like using the dab to you know, to make a funny point kind of thing. Have some healing. Be healed, my child. Okay, so the tiger over there is goners. So we'll go take out this shell hide right here. Okay. If I remember correctly, we get a slam ability at some point that I'm just gonna put a point there. I need to re-pull up the build that I was looking at for top tier healer. Um, but there's also, did I grab the eggies already? I did. Okay. What was so I need to relook up the build over here because I can't remember where they put their points. But I also think, if I remember correctly, there's a slam ability that we get that also heals. Because I remember somebody saying basically what you do is if a bunch of people are taking damage or you're in an AoE situation, you pop your Herald of the Depths and then you just spam the slam ability and it keeps everybody up. But I don't remember. And at a certain point, we'll get our skill that allows us to put it on the tank, right? Is it this one? Entropic Slam? And I want to say it was this one versus this one. But I don't remember. I remember one convo with a hater like these G's like to call him your American thing. Sorry, but it's from your content. Anyways, Um, and I think someone else asked, why doesn't him play 2v2s with his friends? And then he said he doesn't have friends, but only friends AK. Oh, friends. I don't know, viewers, I guess. And then not me said something, can't recall it, but his comeback was that I may not have friends, but I have a wife, and yeah, okay. Yeah, that stresses two things for me. Like if somebody goes, I don't have friends, but I have a wife, like that tells me two things. Either A, all of his friends left because of the wife, or two, um all of his friends are technically her friends. Because that's usually how that plays out. Or he's just too cringe and ego to be around to form good friendships. Yeah, I would agree with that too. Might be why the only person he has in his life is his wife. Just saying. What time is it? 10 o'clock? Ah, we still got an hour. The kitty cat did not give me its skin. Oh. There's that one. And that homeboy is stealing my other ones. I mean, I guess technically he's not stealing them, but it's still frustrating. Got a blood mage tank out here. There's so many people doing this quest. Probably just was a big, tall guy with. He had mentioned it several times that he has bigger than people doubting him, his words. So got a woman because of his born genetics, but in reality, he probably very hard person to chill with. Anyways, sorry for the ranting. That's a rant on the stream. No, you're good, man. You good? I am always down for pretty much any kind of conversation. The only time you'll ever see me get irritated is when or like try to shut down a convo is when it's religion or politics, because I am not the person to be asking for either of those. Because I'm fairly confident that my opinion will make people mad. And that is not what I try to do on the internets. Because as I tell people at work all the time, the beautiful thing about the internet is everything stays on the internet. The downside to the internet is everything stays on the internet. So you say one wrong thing and it's there forever. Ah. Oh, I still got it. Nice. Okay. I'll take it. I wonder if they fixed this area so that it does that. Because it's only supposed to be um like starting areas that share quest items like that, even if you're not in party. We need 2 more. I don't think I got a single hit off on that one, unfortunately. Oh no, I got it. Nice. So we just need 1 more, and then it's a whole bunch of the stupid hexed trolls that we need. There we go. Says I'm in combat with something, and I don't know what. We can go ahead and grab this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go try and get the last tiger that we need real quick. And hope that all of the hex dudes respawn. There we go. Because we need 4 more hexed trolls. And then we can get the heck out of here, turn everything in. You're voodoo. I don't need voodoo. I don't need the voodoo. I need the hoodoo. If anyone caught that reference from the Labyrinth. I heard that they redid or made a second Labyrinth movie, but I've never been able to find it. Like, is it true? Is there a second Labyrinth movie out there? Or did like people make a like a little short film fake thing and was like, "Here you go." Oh, and I was talking about it just a second ago. So let me get this pulled up. Sorry, my brain goes everywhere early mornings. I do apologize, guys. So I'm gonna talk to my boss today about getting off on the 1st because I'm supposed to work that day. Pull up my wish list, thank you. Because Crimson Moon is supposed to launch on the 1st. And I thought this would be a really cool game to try and do an all-day stream on. So I'm going to see if I can take off that day strictly for that game. So hopefully you guys will like it. It's supposed to be a really interesting game. It looks super interesting. The build mechanics on it are supposed to be intriguing because you can equip whatever weapons you want, and then you'll have um, um, like skills that don't necessarily fit the weapon, but you can make it work. And so I'm just curious about it. It looked really, really entertaining and fun. So I think I'm gonna try and do that on the first if I have access to it. Okay, that's that. I don't care. So that's kind of where I'm my head's at for it. Other ban on Lay Metal's stream was more of a joke, and again, I wasn't a first time chatter. Been there several streams. I joined to watch him play at 2.2k, but he stopped at 2.1k for some reason and just started spectating others several hours in a row. So the next day I saw him spectate again. I at least meant to say jokingly, are you going to play some arenas yourself or are you going to watch other players PvP? And then he looked at that and said, yeah, you're getting banned. And I play whenever I want. I mean, like, if he was doing a stream, the only reason I don't, not to try and say defend the guy, but the only reason I could see if you're going, okay, I'm playing, okay, now I'm going to watch a bunch of people, is if you tell your chat straight up, it's like, okay, we're going to spectate these people because we're trying to learn some new mechanics to go from 2.1 to 2.2 of React channels. Yeah. I mean, it's possible he got it in his head that um that's what people were looking for was for him to just react to. Because, like, look at Asmongold. Like, dude used to stream um like WoW content and stuff a lot, and now every time I see him pop up on my feed, it's not about him playing a game. It's just him sitting in a chair talking about other people playing a game or ranting about the devs making drastic changes to whatever game it is he's talking about. So, I don't know. It could be that he watched enough people and went, that's what people are interested in, and tried to change his content. Just take out this guy. I like to like swing this two-handed sword to do this weird thing behind my back. What's up, Necromancer? And there's a witch hunter out here, I think. No, witch. That's a witch doctor. No, y'all can have all the fun you want with that. Bye. I mean, you're fine. You get burned out from PvP yourself. Do a break, but spectate for several hours. I mean, at that point, this is just avoiding doing anything yourself. Yeah. Eh, we don't, I guess, need the extra quest. We could always come back and get it. It was a level 7 Stormbringer. Doing shitty games in PvP and grind gets hard. But whatever, each to their own. But people are too sensitive when calling them out nowadays. Yeah. The way I look at it, man, is like I'm not being called out. Like I look at it as, hey, you could be doing this way, and it might be better. It's a way for me to learn to do something new, and some people just don't like that. They get set in a routine, and they're like, hey, this is. No, he's doing a challenge, so I couldn't even help you if I wanted to, bud. But I don't know. It's just weird. Like when people in my chat at least are like, "Hey, this might actually be an easier way or better way to play this class or that class or this game, whatever." Like there is a part of me that goes, "Oh, great. So I've got somebody trying to tell me how to do a thing." But then I have to step back and realize, hey, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to this. Like, I have my way of playing, sure, but my way is not the only way. There might be better ways to play. There might be better ways to do more damage. Or, for example, let's just take the healer that we're making right now. There might be better ways to get this healer to do things. I am not the smartest person at this, and unfortunately, some people get it in their head that they are the smartest person at whatever it is. You just tried to interrupt my heal twice and it did not work. That's entertaining. So, I don't know. But then again, maybe I'm weird like everybody says. So, like, again, there's a part of me that wants to be like, and there's been several times with people in chat where like at the end of my stream or whatever, I'm just like, you know what? Like that person doesn't know what they're talking about. That person is just saying stuff to piss me off, and they're just going out of their way to make me be mad, you know? But then, after a few minutes of me just being upset because I'm human, uh I stop and I think about it and I go, well, you know what? Maybe they have a point. Let's look at it. Let's see if they have a point to what they said. And 9 times out of 10, I look at it and they're right. Like there is a better way to do whatever it is. So we're farming T-Mogs to sell, and he did giveaways and stuff, but also traded transmog on the Area 52 realm, and asked hefty gold from sharing that T-Mog. I mean, why does he care about getting gold on Area 52 in a server which goes down pretty soon? Again, everyone has silly goals at times. Yeah. And like that's the thing for me too, is like because this server could go down this month, next year, whatever. There's a part of me that's like I don't see the point in bum rushing to, you know, complete all of the raids and have all the best gear if I'm not having fun doing it. But at the same time, like, I'm just here to have as much fun as I can while the server's up, while in the process looking for a game I can switch to. You know what I mean? Like if we get that game over on Steam on the 1st and it is just a phenomenally amazing game that people are interested in, who knows? Well, at least you can see what's the deal is about. That's at least from yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like I get that it's a very human reaction to sit there and be mad when someone calls you out for something, but at the end of the day, like I can't be mad because it's your point of view. For me to be mad because it's your point of view or somebody else's point of view, I think that says more about me and as you said earlier, ego, than it is about anything else to do with the game, play style, any of that. And if I throw a big hissy fit because your point of view is different than my point of view on camera, or I ban you like these other people did because you asked a simple question about what they're doing, you're not going to have viewers. You're never going to make it as high as you want to make it if you allow the negativity of other people or the points of view where someone is actively trying to just help you. If you take it in a negative light, it's going to come across on camera. It's going to come across in your streams, in the way you talk, in the videos that you do, and people are going to notice, and people are not going to like it. Now, I will say the flip side of that same coin, though, is for people who watch other people's contents for the sole purpose of just making inappropriate, rude, obnoxious comments, or, you know, purposely going in and saying negative things in those comments, like, those people know what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose because they're trying to get a rise out of people in the comment section or the content creator. And those people just need to stop. It's like banning a book because you don't like how the book is. It's like, okay, you don't need to read the book. You don't need to watch the content. You don't need to watch the movie or whatever the media happens to be. So, hate watching? Yeah, 100%. There are people out there that will legitimately watch content they dislike for the sole purpose of just hating on it every second of the video. I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten that I just ignore. And I try to respond to everybody. I really do. But there are comments that I've ignored on my own videos and streams because the thing that the person said is just there to piss me off. It's not there to be constructive or supportive or whatever you want to say. It's there strictly because they're trying to make me upset and to say something dumb that's either going to get me banned off of uh, YouTube and Twitch, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing a challenge. I should have hit it first then. I need one more of each. Haste. Yeah. If you're lightning stormcaller, you're gonna get a crap ton of crit just from your skills, or passives rather. So stack haste. Um, Actually, you want to stack spell power, then haste, then crit on a lightning build. We need one more Quillbore. Hurry up and respawn. Thank you. At times I feel like in Negative Nancy, no, not at all. I've never felt that way, so you shouldn't. I really try not to be like, stress can sometimes leak through the cracks, and things can things can different meaning when just writing it out. Instead if I talked about it out loud, time I feel like anonymity and toneless chatting in text boxes can ruin a vibe. Absolutely. Like it's why I hate texting people. Like I am probably the biggest proponent against texting unless it's just a response to something they've texted you, like a quick yes no kind of thing, or hey in a meeting, or something of that nature, or like hey give me 5 minutes I'll call you, something like that, you know what I mean? But when you have people text you these long drawn out messages in text message form on a phone, I'm like, homie, you could have called me. You could have called and said, hey, this is what's up, boom 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 boom, done, right? It drives me bonkers. And like I love my best friend, but like there are times where he does that to me where like he'll send me these long messages and I'm just like, dude, you could have called. Like I would rather take a phone call at work and get in trouble at work for being on my cell phone at my desk than try to decipher your meaning behind whatever text you just sent me. Okay, we need dust runners. I don't need any more battle guards. I can express my tone or put my passion behind my words. You know, can't really give out expression and tone I want. Yeah, no, and 100%. And that's the other thing too. Like when I'm reading people's chats, especially during live stream stuff, I have like in the back of my head, I'm asking what what is it that this person is saying, and is it supposed to be taken in a way that is condescending, or is it they're trying to help? And then on top of that, because YouTube and Twitch is so diverse, it's everywhere in the world for the most part. There's a couple places where you have to be creative to get it, but like sometimes language doesn't come across the same. For like if you're a Spanish speaker, sometimes the way you say something in English will come across, gosh dang it, will come across as seriously as differently as somebody who's here in the US speaking English, or somebody who's in Great Britain speaking English, or like I've had people from India try and be polite and say things, and the way it reads when typed out, you're like, holy crap, this dude's an a-hole, you know? Like, so like it's things that, you know, I think every streamer, every content creator has to in the back of their head constantly be going, is it that I'm reading this in a certain tone because I'm angry about something, or did they write it in that kind of a tone? So also, it doesn't help when I am trying to type on a phone that it often comes out messy if I want to get my message out fast. Yeah, absolutely. And again, like that's, I think part of that is on the content creator to take a step back and be like, hey, is it because they are texting and there, you know, there's misspelled words, or there's shorthand for something, or is it because I'm already angry at something and therefore I'm reading this message in an angry tone, right? And that's happened to me. Like I was saying earlier, like I've read things that people have chatted to me regardless of what game it was, And I've read it, and because I was already mad about something about the game or something that was happening here in the house or at work or whatever, I read that message and my brain immediately turns it into a negative because I'm like already in that headspace of negativity. And so it's just, you got to take a step back and be like, okay, take my voice out of it. Are they trying to be helpful, or are they trying to legitimately be rude? And then address it appropriately. So, I don't know. Hey, that was the first somebody looking for looks like ZG normal fresh run. No reserves, with eye level, need tank and heal. I saw one just a minute ago. They were looking for 5-man dungeons, and or they were looking for mythic, and they said looking for tank heals and DPS. I'm like, so in other words, you're trying to put that group together. I think that's one reason why I'm wanting to have one of everything that I can slowly work on gearing, because then like it's like, oh, we need a tank for this. I'm like, oh, okay, I can tank. Or hey, we need a healer for this. And there's a part of me that would love to just do that with a class like the cultist, because they have all 4 specs. They have a magic user, they have a tank, they have a healer, they have a melee DPS. Now, granted, I would have to have 4 sets of gear for the same character and 4 different loadouts, but whatever. Did you level a Sun Cleric tank, or was it in beta? That was in beta. Or no. Yes. The Sun Cleric that we were leveling, I don't think was a tank. I want to say we were trying to level it as a two-handed DPS, whatever spec that is. I don't remember off the top of my head right this second. Um, but that was in beta, and then the last one before that was in alpha, and it was a healer. Whoo, that was expensive. We went from 60 to 25. Leveled up. All right, so we're 15. Technically, we could go off and do dungeons. Last nightmare. Effectiveness of our whispers. You now heal the healers damaged by your blade of the Empire. It now heals the lowest health ally for 35% of the damage dealt plus 92. Okay. And Blade of the Empire is this. So this also now can heal if we put a point there. We can do, you now heal the lowest health ally affected by Blackblood by 50% of your auto attack damage. I don't think that would be good, honestly. Every third melee ability you cast now causes your next Eldritch Mending to become instant casting cost. Hold on. But if I'm on it, you should level a Godblade instead of Heretic. You will have more fun. Isn't Godblade the melee DPS? Or is that the tank? Melee DPS? Okay. Yeah, we can definitely look into it. It's gonna really mess with our name though. That's the one that uses like gets their slam ability. This one right here, Hammer of Twilight, like they get it up so high, like the damage on that's where they hit one slam and it just does like 100k damage just the slam. It's crazy. Play Corruption. That's the spellcaster, if I remember correctly. Main reason I want to play the Corruption build is I want to see if it still has that skill that basically does the force choke on them and increases their damage taken by 15%. Because Devin and I were playing that at one point, and yeah, I mean it was insane. Whispers. Okay. You become enveloped in twilight magic, increasing your threat generated. That's tanking. Attempt to drive an enemy, taunting. Sanity tap. There we go. That's the skill I was thinking of that gives us mana back. Yeah, I know that when Devin and I were playing, and I was playing a Stormbringer, he was playing a Cultist, and he ended up getting a skill where he was able to just like pick them up off the ground and hold them there for like 6 seconds, 5 seconds, something stupid like that. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. And so what we would do is like we would go up against an elite or something of that nature. He would do the stupid little force choke thing, and I would throw the Arm of Thorum. And at like level 15, I was doing like 5-6k crits when we would do that, which is crazy. You mind not hitting me with that? Because that hurts. Stupid frostbolts. Stupid frostbolts. I feel like that's not giving us a whole lot of mana back. Just saying. Usable while casting or channeling. Reducing your insanity by 20 and restoring 20% of your missing mana. I think there's a way to get that to do better. See, I'm going to do this because it's going to give us more. And then this right here is for our tank. Like that skill you throw on the tank so that it gets more healing. And then now, like this also heals. I could have sworn there was a way to make Entropic Slam heal as well. Tropic Singularity, no. Nothing for that. What about Hammer of Twilight? Anything for Twilight? Nope. Hammer, no. What about level? If I could spell. Eldritch Eye, invoke the old gods for 15 seconds, removing the cast time of your next 3 Eldritch Amazings or Malevolences and causing them to critically strike. Pop that. Yeah. Malevolent power, no. Wow. I would have thought because this is a primary skill for this build that they would want us to have that upped as much as possible, but I guess not. Abyssal Covenant? Allies affected by Abyssal Covenant now also take 20% increased healing from you, or 50% of all healing done to allies through Abyssal Covenant is now replicated to us. So this helps heal us, whereas this just gives them more healing. I would probably do that. Well, I don't know. It would be situational, I suppose. Come on, big guy, spawn faster. As soon as we go turn in these quests here, we'll queue for a dungeon, see what we can get. And then after we do a dungeon as a healer, so that I can be like, hey, we did a healer. What's up, Grab? Alor. Statchel from the Guild Homeless. He's going to go invisible. Punk. Oh, good. Yeah, you fight that. That's fine. And you fight that. Thank you. Everybody is just so nice. It's okay. I can do this one. I want to say in Alpha, Black Blood stacked, to where you would just have cultist healers that would just spam malevolence forever. And it would stack up to like 3 or 4 times. And so you would be getting like 200-300 health per second. It was like, yeah, you're not dying unless you take a big hit. Okay. Turn that quest in. Come over here and we're going to turn in the quest right here. And then we can go turn in shinies as well. But we'll go ahead and queue for a dungeon as a healer. Insta queue. Now, we're not entirely a new healer, but we are a new healer. So hopefully they'll look at our level and go, ooh, he's level 15. Be gentle. I'm going to pick up all the quests because at some point we'll be able to do them all. What kind of tank did I get? Starcaller tank. I will say in the past I have not been impressed by Starcaller tanks. And then I want to click him, and I want to toss Abyssal Covenant on him. We've got a, what you call it in here? Rune Master in here. Not bad. I'm the only one that was taking mass damage from that. Zartov, I've liked Heretic for a while. We played it on Vol'jin before that server really started to go to crap real fast. Like with lag issues and whatnot. And then we came back and played other things over here on Rexar, and then was like, hey, you know what? This morning I woke up, I was gonna do our Rune Master, and was like, hey, let's get the healer up and running again. So that's what we've been working on today. We'll be back on the Rune Master, and we'll be back on the Stormbringer and all that fun stuff, but excuse me. Increases our healing. No, I think what it was is there's another like presence that will unlock that when I use my AoE, it will also heal. If I remember correctly, that's what it was. I'm trying Heretic and it's pretty hard. Not sure if it's just because I'm level 30 and I'm doing it wrong. What's hard about the Heretic that you're having issues with? Yeah, I do hear that the Chronomancer is a stronger healer. I've never played. I honestly keep forgetting that it is a healer. Because anytime I see a Chronomancer, it's always DPS. I've rarely ever seen it as a is a healer. I feel like when I have to spam my sanity for mana, and it feels like the tank is pulling just outruns me and I can't heal. What skill are you trying to use to heal with? Bye, tank. The black blood to keep that up, and then I'm spamming the Empire of the Blade on cooldown. Okay. I mean, I guess the thing that I like the most about this build is how run and gun it is. So, I mean, it is, and I don't have to be right on top of the tank, you know? Like, as long as I'm smacking something that is in range of me, I don't have to stand and deliver like a lot of other healers do. I can just run and gun forever, and I'm spreading heals out the entire time. Um, which buff do you give yourself? Right now, I only have one, which is Whispers of Yasharj or whatever, so that I get mana per second or whatever it is. Gift an ally with the Madness, restoring 12 mana every 5 seconds for 30 minutes. And then the only presence I have is Cthulhu for haste. We got to go there so that we can grab Eldritch Eye. That's like a crucial one if I remember correctly. Um, I mean, let's check our book here. Sermon of Dread, attack power of all enemies. I mean, I could throw that. That wouldn't be too terrible, I guess. Um, but like I don't have any other presences right now besides the haste rating one. And the only whisper I have is charge. You charge? I don't know. Yeah. And currently I'm not having an issue with my mana. So, have you checked Heretic Healer stats on Ascension logs? What are their builds? What are their builds like? Um, I have checked it. I know that at least for uh the top tier raids and mythic dungeons, these guys are pretty much all in first as far as healing goes. Just came over here to get this stupid plant. Okay. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. I don't really have a whole lot of time to do much of anything, so we may just call it early today. And then I'll look at doing like Godblade and stuff. But like, boom, let's go over here. I can pull this up. So like, we can look at this right here. Phase 2. we'll look at Molten Core and Ixia, since that's the top two. We're going to look at Ascended. And then, where's my healers? Look at this. Healing All-Stars. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. All cultists, top 5. Like, your healers, man, is nothing but cultist, with the exception of 2 pyros in the top 10 for Molten Core and Ixia. If we go all dungeons here for phase 0, we are going to end up getting the oh, that's DPS. Hold on. I was about to look at that. Completely wrong. So for healing on all dungeons, low level stuff, or in mythics rather, I mean you're ending up with blood mage, tinker, blood mage, pyromancer. It's top 6 for a cultist healer. 2 in the top 10. 1 sun cleric. So it's all pyro mage, and then you've got a couple blood mages and then some randos that happen to do it. So, and then all-star healers, again, your top 2 here, followed by a sun cleric. So that's kind of like why I'm wanting to do this one. And then if I remember correctly, I was looking at this dude's build because I think he was number 1 not too long ago. But what I like is it really tells me like what I need to be doing. So I should be wearing cloth. It looks like int. Yeah, cloth int. Oh, there's a mail piece right there with int spell power, int sword. So he's going sword and shield. Interesting. I was told that going 2-hand was better. But like over here, I mean, homie's got everything maxed out. But again, like this is what I'm talking about. It's like top tier when you're talking raids and stuff. It is rare to see anybody putting a point in this bottom row. Casting Herald of the Depths now increases the absorption of your next Void Shield within 10 seconds. Hand of Yogg Saron. Tether yourself to an ally for 15, increasing all damage they deal and reducing all damage they take. Corrupt Fate reduces the cooldown of Dark Veil. Dark Veil channeled a shield of void energies upon an ally, causing both you and them to absorb 875 plus 100% healing, plus 25% attack power, damage stacking 5 times every 1 second for 5 seconds at the end of the duration. If the shield holds, you teleport to them. While channeling, you are immune to stuns and silences, not usable on yourself. You think they will nerf Heretic? Probably. They seem to be nerfing everybody. It's a little ridiculous sometimes. Let's check out Ring and see what he's doing differently. So he's using a 2-handed weapon. He's got Crusader on it. Interesting choice. I think he's a main tank heal. Wow, Dark Prophet. Healing done by Abyssal Covenant now heals 2 of the lowest health nearby allies, and healing done by Black Blood can now critically strike. Yeah, I think he's going main tank healer. Like, his whole job is to find a way to just heal one dude, primarily. Because he's going pure strength. Oh, there's an int piece. Int. Strength spirit on that mace. Strength int. I know at a certain point we want to look at paladin style gear, right? So strength, intelligence, if I remember correctly. But he's at 68.7 average eye level with all of his gear on. Dark Infusion, Eldritch. These are these, isn't it? Eldritch Command. Crystalline Reflection increases the chance for Void Shield. Spirit Mind. Void Shield now applies. Yeah, so he's bubbling everybody. That's nice. Blackblood can stack up to 2 times. Nice. Yeah. So I think this dude is main tanking. This dude is raid heals or sorry. I think this guy is tank healing, like main tank heals. This guy is going to be raid. Let's see what number 3 is, and then I'll have to call it a day. Boop. So he's also sword and board. He's also all int, it looks like. And then he's focused down this tree. For Burden Ritual, cools down faster. While Blackblood is active on now, healing done to them by your Gaze of Cthulhu has a 15% increase to critically strike. Increases our attack power and maximum mana. Yeah, I feel like this guy's also raid healer. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know at all. But that's interesting just to see the slight difference in variations. All right, y'all. I will catch you later. We'll be back. I don't know what we'll play tomorrow. We may start working on the Stormbringer tomorrow or the Rune Master. It just depends on how I feel on it. If we do the Stormbringer, it's going to be to start getting it more geared. If it's the Rune Master, then it is 100% going to be just trying to get that guy up to 60. Or we may continue on with this guy and try out some of the other builds and maybe go try some PvP for Tiber. So he's got something more entertaining to watch than me constantly leveling in dungeons. But I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Have fun. Be blessed on this great Sunday. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay legendary, heroes. Peace out.